What is going on, gentlemen? This is Sir Yeetus. Welcome to episode 107 of Yeetus' Thoughts. And today, I'm going to be a little bit more savage than usual because the audacity of what I saw after somebody has died, the audacity of these bitter black women, not all black women, but you know who I'm talking about. I'm not holding back today. Somebody needs to hold them accountable. And as a black man myself, best believe I don't mind doing it. You see, I didn't agree with a lot of things that Kevin Samuels did when it comes to obtaining monetary uh, gains through, him pausing his live stream if he doesn't get enough likes or, if he doesn't get a good amount of donations or whatever it is. I didn't like it one bit, nor I didn't like that he was advocating for marriage. There's a good amount of things I didn't agree when it comes to his philosophy. But what he said about the black community, he's not wrong. He's not wrong whatsoever. I am not going to ever disrespect a person that's deceased. That person cannot defend himself or herself. Whatever beef or whatever we had, unless you did something heinous, I'm talking about you did some horrid stuff, I'm willing to drop the beef and let my life go on because if you pass away, what else can I do? And that's how it should be. Because I'm pretty sure across the board, everybody knows. Well, a lot of people know that disrespecting the dead is not cool. Well, of course, these black women, they have no shame. They have no integrity. They have no empathy. But before I continue, I'm going to add the one, the only. Gray, what's going on, Gray?
Good evening. Shit doesn't slow down, man. What the hell?
It doesn't. And once again, anytime that I try to take a break, something crazy happens.
Jeez.
Always.
Do
It's
have
like, well, what's up?
I finally did manage to find a more official source confirming his death. So
His mother confirming it to NBC.
yeah, and like police report gave some details. So
I'm gonna bring this up right quick. Sadly, serial killers have not received the hate that Kevin Samuels received. Oh, I can't disagree. I cannot disagree. If you guys hopped on Twitter yesterday after the news of Kevin Samuels' death, you would have been appalled. Don't get me wrong. I've said a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of things. But to say all that crazy mess about a man that came to defend himself just because you didn't like what he said, you're evil, heinous, vile. What do you have to say about the overall situation, Gray, when it comes to Kevin Samuels? Because I had nothing against him personally. I just disagree with a lot of his ideas, if you get what I'm saying.
yeah, like I didn't know the guy personally. He seemed fairly well spoken and direct. Like not really a fan of some of the things that he's said and some of the simping that he's done. But that just kind of proves the point even more. Is like Kevin Samuels was pro plantation. These
Right.
women, by criticizing Samuels, like, no, ladies, your fucking arrogance knows no bounds here. Because this was one of the few men who was actually still working to get you a husband. Maybe not the one you think you're worth because you're fucking delusional, but this guy was on your side. He wanted to get you that fucking bag. He wanted to help you get that fucking bag.
I
You don't
agree.
fucking appreciate it.
I agree 1,000,000% what you just said. Like the audacity. See, here's the biggest thing, and I said this across plenty of channels so far because I've been around the channels that's talking about Kevin Samuels. Women in general, but especially black women, you didn't like that Kevin Samuels held a mirror to your face, and you did not like what you saw. You did not like how Kevin Samuels, he didn't beat around the bush. He didn't give you those rose-colored glasses trying to make you feel good. Because you want to talk about, oh, he's so mean, he's so brash, he's so rude. Okay, prior to Kevin Samuels, did any other way work? We still have one of the biggest baby mama problem out of all races. We still have one of the biggest fatherless homes out of all races. We still have the biggest incarceration among black men out of all races. You black women, I ain't talking about all, but a good amount of y'all love to wear the single mother title as a badge, but you look and discuss when you have to put in effort in a relationship. So all those things happening before Kevin Samuels. But when that man came here and put his foot down and said, no, let's come back down to reality. You're average at best. Oh, all of a sudden he's the demon? He's the demon. To let you know, hey, maybe you need to stop going out in fairyland, la la land, waiting for this rich Chad, rich Tyrone, rich Pookie and Ray Ray that doesn't even exist because your standards are so delusional. Maybe you need to step aside and realize nobody cares about your degree, especially your gender studies degree. You only make it around $50,000 to $60,000 a year on average, okay, in your human resources job. You got 4 kids by 2 different baby daddies. What makes you think that you're worthy of that caliber of men? Why do you expect everything to come to you without you working on what you need to do in return? Why is it always a one-way street, especially with black women? What do you have to say about that?
You more or less hit the nail on the head there. Like, they're living in a fucking fairy tale fantasy Ken and Barbie dollhouse, and he gets up and says, look, ladies, you're not a fucking fairy tale princess. There's no fucking Disney princess with 3 fucking kids who don't know who their dad is that have been run through more times than fucking tunnel. You need to actually accept what you are and learn to grow up. And they're like, no, we hate you because you are bringing reality into our fairy tale life. But you don't live a fairy tale life. I can pretend I live a fairy tale life. If they ever had to accept who they are, if they ever had to look in the mirror and actually see who's there, past the Instagram filters, past the fucking makeup, they would hate themselves. They despise themselves. And so They need to hate someone else. They need to blame someone else for what they did to themselves. So that's anyone that reminds them of who they actually are instead of the comfortable delusion. Like the fucking, I don't know what fucking chemical it is that feeds delusion, but they're fucking addicted to it.
And that is my biggest issue. How, like, in all seriousness, I Dude, I don't know about you, Gray, but I've never seen men dog on a woman that passed away. Have you ever seen men do that? Like online, like, yeah, fuck that bitch. Yeah, I'm glad she's dead. Yeah, she's a misandrist. Who cares?
I can't think of one. Honestly, I don't even think there'd be as much hate for Hillary.
No, not really. Like, well, she did some complete heinous shit.
But that's the thing. I think guys might be like, oh, thank fuck. Like they just breathe a fucking sigh of relief because the nightmare is over, and then they move on because they got actual shit to do.
Exactly. It's similar to like, oh, that's a good example. It's like when Roma Army, if hypothetically, God forbid, she passes away tomorrow, because I don't wish death on people like that. I highly doubt I will see men talk about, oh, I'm glad she's fucking dead. Oh, that piece of shit. Oh, that goddamn chameleon. I highly doubt that, because why? Unlike modern women today, especially black women, we have empathy. We have sympathy.
Well, that's the thing. There might be some. We can't deny that there might be some men, but it certainly won't.
Yeah, small, yeah.
And they will be openly reviled by other men for being like so distasteful.
Because how are you going to come out of the woodwork like that, being nasty, being vile about a person that's not even here anymore, that can't even defend themselves? That's some weak shit. That's bitch shit.
I mean, like I guess, let's keeping with the hypothetical. If that were to happen, I think the most positive thought I could have is like she had nothing but fucking misery and destruction ahead of her, both for her and any man that associated with her. It's really for the best. That's about as fucking dark as I'd get with that shit.
I can see where you're coming from. Yes, I agree. But at the same time, like you said, it's only a few amount of men that's willing to go that far. And I usually say that's pretty much incel talk at that point. Because it never crossed my mind, except for, Hillary, that I will talk I will talk bad on somebody's name beyond the grave. That's just not cool. Like, what can you do at this point if that person's gone? Like, it makes no sense. And the fact that they're celebrating. See, here's the thing. I'm thinking about it yesterday. I was going through Twitter. I was seeing all those crazy Twitter comments, and I'm sure a lot of men, you probably saw it, chat, or you're about to see it sometime today if you check it out. I'm like, what's the point? What's the point of you spewing all this vile, horrible stuff just because you disagree with that person's point of view? He wasn't a criminal. He didn't say some extreme sexism, racist, crazy stuff. No, he just saying, hey, you need to improve yourself or nobody's going to take you seriously. All this bitterness that I've seen online, I'm like, at the end of the day, after you're done hating on the man that's not here anymore, you're still broke, you're still laying well, nobody wants you at the end of the day.
Well, that's exactly why they do it. Like this is the other thing. Why women do this more often. They literally have nothing else going on in their lives. These people don't have hobbies. They don't have a life outside of looking at the news, talking about the news. That's it. They look at people, they talk about people, and they have nothing else going on, nothing to distract them. All they have to do all day is go on social media and talk. And they're probably just going to be bitching about something, because bad news gets conversation going better than good news.
Exactly. And Light and MGTOW, whenever, if it's possible, if you want to join, if it's possible, go ahead and chime in. I will do call-ins later. Oh, see, look, already ahead of me. uh, Sigma Rodin, how evil can you be to celebrate a man's death? See, like I said before, there's only a small instance where a man truly deserves it. If he was a predator or he did some heinous stuff like that guy from Germany.
Well,
Hopefully, you guys, you know what I'm talking about, right? If he did some very heinous stuff, okay, I see why people wanna celebrate. Too easy. But what did Kevin Samuels do to deserve it? What did he do?
that's the
You
thing.
know,
He didn't do anything. At the same time, what are they even complaining about? On top of that, like they're just bitching and calling him mean names. That's it. That is all they have. Nothing is of substance. They're not, so far as I understand, like they're not bringing up like, oh, this is the myth that he built up, and here we're tearing it down to destroy his legend. No, they're literally just shitting on him with fucking insubstantial character assassination rather than anything. I mean, for fuck's sakes, like let's look at like a man who died prominently, and yes, because he was Chris there, like Epstein. Like, dude is supposedly dead, at least officially. But it's not even that. Like, yeah, people wanted him dead eventually, but more so, like they wanted the information that he had.
I agree. I agree, but it was just so weird how they were saying, "Oh, I bet he died alone, didn't he? Huh? All that stuff
It's
he was
a
saying about women. Oh, karma."
funny thing. No, he
Like,
actually had a woman in his apartment, and
yeah,
she's
I
the one
was
who
like,
called him.
actually, he did not die alone. They were trying so hard. Once again, they were trying so hard, and I explained this on Nixon's channel. They women in general, they don't care if they're right or wrong. 9 times out of 10, they only want you to validate how they feel at that moment.
Well, and that's the hilarious thing. Like, how many of these fucking Roe v. Wade women, my body, my choice, were also all for everyone getting mandatory jabs. Like that's the thing. They don't think. They don't hold any sort of objective principle. They just speak out whatever the hell they feel like at the time, and will switch on a dime as soon as they feel something different. That's the thing. Man, you got to stop thinking that they think like men and that they mean what they say. They say what they feel. That's where it ends.
I agree. And here's the biggest hypocrisy of all. And I do have a few more. The fact that they, black women, right? And it's been happening for a minute since 2016, pretty much mainstream stuff where black women, they freak out when people from other races, mainly white people, call out black men for their own deaths, such as, oh, he's from a horrible neighborhood, he did terrible decisions, he brought his demise on himself. You hear black women, oh my god, how dare you talk about black men like that, blah, blah, blah. But then they turn around and do it themselves towards a person that was trying to help the black community. Oh, go ahead and defend the man that was shooting at your own sons and daughters and aunts and uncles and all that stuff. But demonize a man that's trying to get you married. What do you have to say about that one?
It's just a reminder that women don't like it when you're nice to them. They would sooner praise the man who tried to do terrible, terrible things to them that I can't say on YouTube, rather than the man trying to find them a husband.
Exactly. Think about it, chat. Everybody that's in the chat right now, think about it. You guys can go ahead and look at the news and all that stuff. Whenever a young black man that's a thug or a criminal gets killed, especially by the cops or whatever, they go to the death defending this man, saying, "Oh, he was a good kid. He knew nothing." Blah blah blah. But they are also quick to demonize and defame a man that was actually trying to improve their lives for the better.
I think I have the perfect meme for this situation. Rick and Morty. Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That should be my new motto. I'm going to steal that from Rick and Morty. Or in the Andre show where he's like, "Why are you booing me? You know I'm right."
Now, I think it's more, I think like your boos mean nothing. I see what made you cheer. Because that's the thing. So many of these people who have this fucking moral outrage is like, look, you have fucking cheered on horrible fucking people doing horrible fucking things. Why the hell should I value your moral outrage when you have proven yourself to be morally abhorrent?
Exactly. Exactly. And another thing that I have an issue with, right? Which is pretty much the same thing, but I have to also point this out. They celebrate that the Pookie and Ray Ray lifestyle, and they demonize a man that is not a thug, that is not a criminal, that's actually in itself successful, dresses professionally, and is willing to put his foot down and tell black women how it is. The irony, the oxymoron, I don't even know how to explain that right now. It's just insanity.
Where else? It's just, see, this. I'm going to bring up one of my more controversial takes.
Okay.
And I think this will be why. It's kind of because I've been thinking about it since the whole Roe v. Wade thing, and I'm still going to hold my old position on this. If it comes down to the life of the mother versus the child, I say save the child because they have a better future than the mother.
And plus, I'm sure. Well, actually, no, not anymore. I don't think they're willing to even because they'll say, "Oh, we can always have another child." That'll be the reasoning.
I'd say, but they're fucking okay. Maybe they can, but they're not going to be suited for it. They're not going to be good, beneficial people in the meantime. Like the child's a blank slate. Is like if it's to the point where child elimination is even an option that comes up, I think that the child is a wholly better choice than the mother that would even consider eliminating the child.
I agree. And when it comes to the overall situation with Kevin Samuels, it's like, do you ladies not comprehend what's going on? Of course you don't, because you don't like to look outside your bubble, outside your circle. So you clearly can't comprehend all the black men that are seeing your tweets right now. That you're saying all these horrible, vile stuff about a man that try to help you, that try to help the black community. And you are surprised and you are confused on why black men more and more every day are dating outside their race, going overseas. Really? That's how you treat a black man that's not only successful, that try to help you out. Even though I don't agree with marriage, he tried to help you out. And that's how you repay him, with his sudden death. Saying the most horrendous, vile shit just because he did not validate your feelings when you called in.
Not even when they specifically called in. You know that all these women see Kevin Samuels holding a woman accountable, and they know that could be them.
Exactly, if the shoe fits. And what's worse is, at least in my opinion, I don't know about the chat. The chat can let me know otherwise. Kevin Samuel was a lot harder on men than the women.
Definitely was. I think you can kind of sum it up with a simple counter. It's like only low value women hate Kevin Samuels.
Bingo. Because what did he say that was wrong? Okay. At least when it comes to advice to women. I don't think he said anything wrong. When it comes to advice to men, yeah, I disagree with a lot of things. But when it comes to advice to women, he was not wrong, especially black women. They purposely shoot themselves in the foot. And then they blame the gun.
Well, no, they don't blame the gun. They blame every man nearby for not stopping them from shooting themselves in the foot. Even though when a man tries, they fucking smack him away and go, I know what I'm doing. Don't tell me what to do.
I definitely agree with that, man. And let me read this. You're right, Yeet, but to them, those men don't exist until they need them. Then they do. See, as a black man myself, because I'm sure you guys know by now, I'm a black dude. There's a lot of situations where good men is literally trash since, I don't know, middle school and onward when it comes to being an educated, good black man. You're not out there on the corner sagging your pants and slinging some good shit. No, they literally clown men that's out there doing good for themselves. Crabs in the bucket mentality. Literally. It's just so weird that they really hate on a black man that's successful. And he's trying to bring the black community with him, at least as many as possible. And he gets that much hate, especially after his death. How can black men not deem the black community as unsavable? It can't be saved, especially after that stint yesterday on Twitter. How can black men not think that way? Because if they're that way against Kevin Samuels, how do you think they're going to be against the average man that speaks out?
Beyond even speaking
Black
out,
man.
like if they hold this much contempt for someone trying to get them a husband, how much contempt will they have for their actual husband?
Oh, it'll be bad, and I've seen it personally. In the black community, it is a matriarchy. I repeat, in the black community, it's a matriarchy. That's the most simple way I can put it. Why do you think that in the black communities, we have the most effeminate men out of all races? Yeah, prison is one thing, but the single motherhood, that's a huge factor.
I think a big part of it is it's bonobo society. Like this goes back to like the government removing the father from the home
Great.
via.
Continue. I'll be right back.
This is where it goes back to bonobo society because this is enabled and perpetuated by the government through the guarantee of security and resources. By and large, all of these low value women, they are provided for and protected for by a government that they largely do not pay for. They just have to vote in line and do what they're told. That is, have kids, father from the household, provide them as slave labor for the prison industrial complex. And because it is a bonobo society, they act like bonobos. They establish a matriarchy, and whenever they want a dispute between males to be resolved, it is done with sex. There's still, yes, some violence. It's not all the way there. But you look at bonobos versus chimpanzees, the primary difference is that bonobos are protected and provided for by their environment. Chimpanzees are not. That's literally all it takes with identical or near identical genetics to create that much of a divergence. Sunny says, there's never been, for better or worse, a feminist civilization. Well, if there has, it hasn't lasted very long. Like a feminist civilization that is not continually protected and provided for by typically the environment and lives in some kind of protective isolation with guaranteed resources, it is doomed to collapse. Like if you can't survive on fucking mud huts, then you're screwed. And well, we've seen that to a certain extent. Like there are civilizations which made it thousands of years and they never advanced technologically, and surprise surprise, women were held in very high positions, even in matriarchal positions in those societies.
Yeah, and then you wonder why those matriarchal societies doesn't exist.
Well, that's the thing. They exist until they meet with a non-matriarchal civilization, and then they get conquered.
Oh, so when you're saying with the barbarians at the gate.
Well, funny thing is, when it came to North America, it was more so the civilized at the gate, and the barbarians were the ones being conquered.
That is definitely true. Definitely true. But everybody right now just put up a poll. Does Kevin Samuels deserve the hate he's getting after his death? Like, please let me know, because in my opinion, no, not at all whatsoever. But of course, the fact that he's speaking the truth and he held a mirror up against these black women and having them being held accountable, seeing them for what they are, what they're doing wrong, and how they should fix it. It's crazy. I commend Kevin Samuels trying to take on the black community, because there's not too many people trying left. Like it's a lost cause to the majority of black men. We literally ourselves is like, you know what? It's game over. It's game over. The black community is beyond saving. But there's those select few that still gave it a try. Still gave it a try. And this is how black women repay him. You get what I'm saying, Gray?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, the people who appreciated him, would they necessarily even be near as loud? Well, no, they're going to be few and far between to begin with. Because let's be honest, the simps and the hoes outnumber the decent people.
I agree.
And of course, it's Twitter primarily and social media. Who uses Twitter and social media at large? Is it good, decent, hardworking people? Or is it a bunch of fucking welfare queens?
The second choice.
Social media is primarily populated by people who are fucking horrible and make their lives, make their living through the social circles. And anyone who had even slightly aligned ideologies to Kevin Samuels, like, it's Twitter. They've been purged over and over and over again. There's
Wait a minute. These other women is not going to save black men. What do you mean by that? You got to elaborate. But
women aren't going to save men, period.
Right, because that makes no sense.
No, like, all these women can do is not destroy the men that give them a chance. There's no salvation for man in a woman.
That's true. What's his? Kevin Samuels was the closest thing we had to a real life Captain Saberho. I won't say that you're wrong.
You know, in principle, that is correct because he was
Right.
giving advice to these hoes on how to sort their lives out. Now, he wasn't personally saving each and every one of them, but he was attempting to get them to see what the hell was going on and give them the ability to save themselves.
I agree.
He was leading the horse to water. Can't make him drink, but you can get him to water.
No, black women won't save black men, neither will other race men. See, you guys getting confused. Black women are getting beyond upset because I'm talking about African American women, right? I ain't talking about, women straight from Africa. African American women are so upset because these black men, they're sick of their BS, their feminist, masculine, combative behavior, and black men are leaving in droves to other races of women, whether it's Thailand, Philippines, Japanese, white, native, Hispanic. According to these dating apps, especially Tinder, black women are the least desirable women out of all races.
It's funny, back when I was blue pilled, you hear that and it's like, oh, holy, it's so racist. They just don't like the looks. And then you realize, they didn't control for all of these black women being fucking angry feminists who weigh 300 pounds.
Yes. And Zemax, he died of a heart attack yesterday.
Yeah. On that. Sorry, someone's at the door. I'll be right back.
It's all good. I'll continue. So when it comes to Kevin Samuels' legacy, he's definitely going to be a big, important factor in the black community for a long time. Whether people hate him or like him or whatever it is, he is going to be an important figure. I definitely see Kevin Samuels being in the history books because he was one of the first, even if it's just for a few years, that actually called out people and actually tried his best to bring the black community together, even though that we're on our last legs. Whether you guys like it or not. The fact that now, today, even mainstream news is announcing his death, because Kevin Samuels' mother today reported Kevin Samuels' death to NBC News. You guys need to understand, when it comes to giving advice, when it comes to a society, a gynosex society, they don't want us men out there to speak the truth. When it comes to female nature and female behavior, horde decisions. Am I saying every single woman is doing bad behavior decisions? No, but majority of them are. Whether you want to admit or not, majority of them in the West are. And they hate men that are willing to call them out. And you see the results of what happened yesterday with his sudden death. You see the results of how women want to perceive men like Kevin Samuels that at least try to help him. No, they say the most heinous of stuff. If it's possible, I'll try to bring it up. But the things that I saw, I was I was honestly shocked. I was shocked of the amount of hate he was getting from black women. I know it's not just black women, but black men as well, black simps, in my opinion, was going all in, all hardcore on Kevin Samuels just because they didn't like what he said.
No, it's not that
Yeah.
they didn't like what he said.
Huh.
It's that the women that fucking have them on a leash didn't like what they said. Simps don't have fucking independent thought. They are told what to think and they obey.
Yeah, that too. I definitely agree with that one. Because at this point, it's like after, and once again, once you put on the internet, it's forever. Are you telling me that, see, this is how I believe in the 80-20 rule. They're putting out all this stuff thinking that the rest of the male population, black male population, they're not seeing this.
Well,
Throughout social,
they're accustomed to two kinds of people. They're accustomed to either Pookie and Ray Ray, who will abuse the shit out of them and they don't care because they find it hot, or simps who won't offer a contrarian opinion. Men who disagree with them, so far as they're concerned, don't exist.
yeah, and I agree with MG Verde. It's not about having a conversation with them. It's about just be quiet and let us live our lives. We know we were fuck ups. Just don't tell us. Yeah, they want to have the cake and eat it too. They want to run around, run amok with their sexual liberation and their empowerment. Oh, we are women. We are black women. Look at us. And they don't want to worry about the consequences of their behavior. What'd you say?
Yeah. Quite simple. I'll let you live your fucking life when you keep your fucking hand out of my wallet. If I have to pay for your fucking life, you don't get a fucking say. I get to at least bitch and complain and tell you you're a piece of shit because it's my money financing you.
Yep. Not just taxes, child support, and all that stuff. But the biggest thing is taxes. A good amount of those single mothers out there.
You take a fucking handout from the government, you take fucking charity, you do not get to say, leave me alone, let me live my life. You deserve every bit of fucking ridicule that anyone has to fucking say to you. Doesn't fucking matter their position. You take handouts, you get to be ridiculed. That's the deal.
If you take handouts, I definitely agree. If you want me to leave you alone, go get a job. Make your money. Then you're the same person that's contributing to society as me, and I got nothing to say. Cool.
Like if you fucking pay every bill through, it could be a fucking McDonald's job, but so long as you're paying for every fucking cent and nothing in your life is subsidized, you do you. Spend it how you want, live how you want, whatever.
Do you know how many men will rejoice if we have as many financial benefits as women? Oh, do you know how much men will rejoice?
You imagine if companies got subsidies for hiring men.
Exactly. Oh my lord.
Because it ain't just like they fucking bitch about like women getting paid. Us is like, bitch, the government is fucking paying or holding financial leverage over a company just so they'll hire you in the first place.
And if this, and we're sidetracking right now. We're sidetracking. If wage gap is true, right? If it's legit, if I was a CEO trying to make that money, being greedy, why wouldn't I just hire all women? Why wouldn't I do that? That's the perfect fucking ideal.
If
all women.
If women were equally as productive as men and we could pay them less, absolutely would. Men would be completely out of fucking work.
Oh,
if they were equally as productive.
I definitely agree with that one, but I am definitely going to start inviting people in because I want you guys' opinion on Kevin Samuels. You know, whether you hate him, whether you're fond of his channel, whatever you want to say about the situation, because I need opinions here. I need people to come in here and let me know what you guys got to say. The more opinions, the better.
But you know what? I think Free Rush just made an interesting point, which I think kind of speaks to it. Because one of the general themes I've been seeing in the chat is these women know that they are pieces of shit. They know. And so it's like with the monkeys that treat humans as pieces of shit because the humans give them food. We treat these women better than they know they deserve to be treated, and they think less of those men for it.
Right.
I think that is just completely true. Like, this is simps. This is why you are found disgusting, because these women who are lower than you, yes, as low as you think you are, these women are lower than you, and they know it. And you treating them as superior makes you less in their eyes and less in everyone's eyes because you have no fucking standards and no fucking self respect.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Trader in the trees. I saw an ad on YouTube yesterday. The same reason she is a good mom is the same reason she will be a good employee. What the fuck? No. No. Okay. Yeah. Oh, lordy, lordy. Why do they believe that doing their basic duties as a mother is compared to a full-time job?
Because they've
I've
never
never
actually
seen
worked a fucking day in their life.
I've never seen a single father complain this hard about taking care of kids. Personally, I don't believe it's that difficult to take care of children.
It's not.
I personally don't think that's the case. Even though I don't have kids on my own, I babysit a lot years ago, and it's just simple stuff. And maybe because these single mothers, they yearn for as much free time as possible to do what they want. What do you have to say about that?
For fuck's sakes, cook them food, keep them entertained either by indulging in their fantasies or watching television with them. Talk with them about stuff and play video games. For fuck's sake, I was a better babysitter than most parents fucking parent. That's the fucking sad thing. It's easy to do a better job than most parents nowadays. Like, they know it's easy. Bitch and complain because they want to make it seem like some monumental effort. Meanwhile, they think that work is just what they see on television. Like fucking sitcom-y bullshit.
Yeah, I had to look up with the Bill Burr comedy show, not comedy show, but the stand-up special where he said Oprah brought on a girl that said that motherhood is the hardest job on the planet. I was like, there's no way. He must be joking. I looked it up. It actually was true. There was a woman that went on the Oprah show and said that being a mother is the hardest job on the planet. I was like, bull, completely shit, bullshit.
Like, for fuck's sake, people who've done it, like, they've never had an actual serious fucking job in their life.
I agree. And Samantha P, in reality, a mother can raise several children and work a part-time job while still having more time to relax before her husband even gets home from work. Agreed. I see it often.
Well,
It's not hard. Oh,
you know,
what's up?
that's the thing. Because that's the thing. You can have a job and raise children. Can you have a full-time job and a part-time job at the exact same time? No, you fucking can't.
Agreed.
I can't do my fucking full-time work and do part-time work simultaneously.
Why not work together and not trying to compete with me and work interdependently? Where in my absence, you look after the household while I can bust my butt and bring home the bread. What's so hard about that? Why are you so upset? You don't have to go outside every day and put your life in danger working these dangerous jobs to make a lot of money. Like,
Because it's her friend. It's her friends. You know, it's other women fucking putting her down and shaming her. Because that's the thing. When the man isn't around the house, the woman is talking to other women. And those other women want to sabotage the good thing that this woman's got going. And because they'll just fucking cave. They'll fucking cave. They'll destroy their lives. They'll destroy their families. They'll destroy their relationships for temporary social approval. And then when their lives are fucking wrecks and their friends are in better positions, it's like, oh, yeah. Your friends no longer give a shit about you. Yeah, you followed all their advice and destroyed your life. They're like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have done that. They're like, oh, no, now I regret it. Now I want my family back. Now I don't want to work. It's like, no, fuck you, bitch. You
no,
fucking showed that you've got less loyalty than a fucking cat.
all you had to do was stay home, take care of the kids. Everything else will fall into place. That's all you had to do. But, I do agree with you, Gray, where the friends are like, "Oh, he's treating you like a slave. Oh, he's making you do the dishes. He has his own hands. Make him do dishes." And eventually, she will try to butt heads and compete with her man to
And
the
there's the
point
other
where,
thing.
oh, what's up?
They look for trouble. Like they'll bitch about something for ages. And then if it ever fucking gets solved, they will look for something else to bitch about, something else to complain about. I honestly think they're allergic to being fucking peaceful and content. There always needs to be some kind of problem.
I agree. Let me see this real quick. Kevin Samuels is a fraud. No sympathy for dating roaches. See, once again, I don't agree with plenty of things that Kevin Samuels taught, but what my issue is he was not wrong about the black community. And the fact that he was able to hold black women and black men accountable. I know he held all men and women accountable, but more specifically, black men and black women. And as soon as he kicked the bucket, they were saying the most vile shit about him. Horrible shit.
You know,
As a black man myself, that's some horrifying shit to see.
there is one black woman whose opinion I'm actually curious about. Can you guess which?
Candace.
Oh, one that's been on Kevin Samuel's show.
Oh, okay. uh, hmm, I don't know.
Nicki Minaj.
Oh yeah. Oh, there were people bringing that up lately.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
he
cur- I'm
he.
curious what her 2 cents on this is.
Oh, I didn't even look it up, but yeah, he didn't hold that same energy for Nicki Minaj compared to the
Nah.
rest of the black women.
If
So
she's smart, she'll keep her fucking mouth shut.
yeah, I definitely agree. He didn't hold that same energy from Nicki Minaj because she was a celebrity. Also, she did know a lot of goons. So Kevin Samuels definitely tread carefully, which I completely disagreed. Hold that same energy for any woman that believes that she is overvaluing herself, because there's no way in hell that she's a 9. Nicki Minaj is not 9. She's 40. What is she, 40? Hold up. I got to see her age. Give me a second. She's 39, almost 40. She is not a 9 to me. She's not.
He saw the fucking Hollywood access and went fucking simp mode.
Right. And that's the thing. Once again, that's one of many things I disagreed with Kevin Samuels. But the one thing that I will hold up high is he told the truth about the state of the black community. That I won't take away from him.
And I'll be a cynical bastard and think that a bunch of it he just did because he saw fucking money in it. And that,
which is fine. And I disagree with that too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, but we can disagree with that shit, but it's like,
I see it as he brought it on a mainstream platform, pointing out the flaws and the BS of black women and how they treat good black men, and then they turn around and complain to the very same men that they complain about. I know it's the same for all races, but it's a huge problem within the black community.
Now, this might be a tad controversial, Yee, so feel free to shoot me down on this.
Make sure it's nothing too crazy that Susan's gonna.
No. This is something that like you might object to. Do you think that Kevin Samuels was permitted to say what he said because of the color of his skin?
Yes. I agree 1,000,000%. No other race, especially a white man, will be fucking crucified. Oh, it would be so bad if a white man said what Kevin Samuels said. I definitely agree with what you said.
That's, like, as a non-black man, that is something that is somewhat frustrating, is that it seems like a bunch of these kinds of thoughts can only be held, like, face exposed, monetized by certain melanins.
Yeah, that's why.
Because of the platform. Like, I'm not blaming these people. Like, they're just working with what they have, and it's not their fault. And I've heard from some of them that, yeah, they've gotten offers specifically because of the melanin. And it's been open, and they've been insulted by it. Yeah, kudos to having a measure of integrity there. But that's part of it too. Like, these problems aren't even allowed to be spoken of outside of this kind of stuff because of the platform, because of the woke optics.
Samantha P. I think he needed to have a certain amount of sympathy going on in order to open the conversation up to more women. He's trying to reach a broader community. I agree. I agree. I know eventually he was going to go beyond just mainly the black community. He was definitely on his way to go beyond that.
That's the thing. There was the occasional white woman that would call in, and he'd actually have somewhat civil conversations with them. Like, he actually, like, straight up used that as an example, as a conversation with a black woman, telling them that I don't get this kind of shit from white women. So it's not like he was only speaking to black women in this.
He was mainly speaking to black women.
Mainly, yes. But it wasn't exclusive. And I don't see how the simping was necessary to open to a broader audience. It was necessary to start getting into the pockets of Hollywood, to start getting into that kind and break out of YouTube and into, like, potentially television and movies. But I wouldn't say that he simped out of some sort of altruistic goal to reach a larger community. He simped because he saw dollar signs. I'm not going to give him that much credit.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said before, that's something that I definitely disagree with. If you are here just trying to say, hey, let me stop my channel until you give me more likes. Let me stop my channel until I get some donations and all that stuff. I am completely against that. That's disingenuous, and I completely despise grifters that does that. I'm not going to say that I agree with everything that Kevin Samuels did. I do not.
And
But I do agree. I do agree what he said about the black community.
that's part of the problem of treating, like, when YouTube is your primary source of income, you are now an employee of YouTube. Whether you like it or not, that's what you are.
I agree, and then you have to abide by certain rules.
You got to chase the algorithm. You feel pressure to pump up your performance numbers. It's your YouTube becomes your own fucking wage cage.
Which that can never be me because once again, it's only if you guys donate, right? If you guys decide to donate so I can get more cool stuff, then that's on you guys. But it's your choice and your choice only to donate to this channel. And definitely don't worry about donating today because I don't profit off of a dead man or dead woman. And that is slimy as fuck. So that's why I never said anything. Um but in the end, I do see what you're saying when it comes to him consistently, and once again, I'm not going to take too much away from him because the product of his, you know, pretty much the product overall is above average. So I do see why he's like, you know what, I'm just going to do this and do that because he felt that it was worthy of his time to be paid that much.
Yeah,
At that point.
it's the thing. Like, it's a gray area.
Yeah.
Like, he was obviously under certain restrictions in exchange for going full on YouTube. And that means that the message has to fall in line with YouTube's compliance, and it can only be held by people who YouTube deems acceptable to permit to begin with. Now, can someone be all that and still get a beneficial, truthful message out? Yes. But if there's always going to be that dilution. Like,
I agree.
you're never going to get the absolute truth, and you need to understand the context in which the message is delivered to understand how the truth will in all likelihood be corrupted.
I'm gonna invite one more time. I'm gonna start adding people in right now. Carry on. What's going on? I know you've been waiting for a minute.
Yeah, all right, I'm good.
I talked to you earlier.
No, you were talking to me. I was there first, so it's not very around. So,
Oh, how dare you? But before I add more people in, do you want to give your input to the Warband about the Kevin Samuel situation? I'll be right back.
well, what I can say is that I'm not proud or happy or get any positive feelings that he's died. Neither do I feel negative that he's dead because I didn't really have any connections or attachments to him or his content in any form of fashion. I believe that he wasn't as truthful as he could be, as he wanted to gain as much attention as possible. But what even down in his diluted truths, or whatever you want to call it, or half lies, or whatever you want to say, he still affected people for the positives from what I've seen. So yeah.
I think that can be consent. Like, overall, Kevin Samuels was a net positive.
Yeah.
Whatever flaws people find with him, it was a net benefit for men. He was entertaining, and he did give an alternative to the outright sympatry.
Yeah, I'm not gonna just completely trash on everything that Kevin Samuels did. A lot of things that I disagree with Kevin Samuels. A lot of them. The Warband knows, Gray knows, but there are a few things I won't take away from him. Okay, he definitely is able to uh, call women out, able to handle criticism from all these black women and women in general, and not really give a damn. And he kept it real because even though he did some major grifting, the majority of his information was not wrong.
That's the thing. Like, you can't hate on the truth. Telling the truth is like, okay, credit where credit's due.
How he gave out the truth, that's where I completely disagree.
That's reasonable. I don't feel anything for people that are hating him because that's like for me to actually feel anything, I have to care about them. I don't even feel pity for them to the point that they have to do this. Only thing that comes in my head is why do you care so much about a person who's died? You don't have a good you don't know the person. The person's barely
Towards black women, I agree. I don't know why you care so much because they are beyond bitter. But when it comes to me, I don't really care for Kevin Samuels that much in the sense of I don't know him personally. So I can't really sit here and pretend like, oh, he was the greatest person. He was this, he was that. No, I was one of many people that did not know him personally. I know MTR and a few other people knew Kevin Samuels personally. That's different. But my main thing is how Kevin Samuels' ideal about the black community was bright, and then these bitter black bitches are working 24/7 right now to slander his name, his legacy.
Of course, we know that the reason they're doing this is because they don't want the next generation of black women looking at Kevin Samuels and going, you know what? He's got a point. Maybe I should hold myself to a higher standard. Because these women need every other woman to be lower than them so that they will have the best chance with the top tier men. They can't improve themselves, so they're just trying to sabotage everyone else.
I don't agree with you completely. I believe that they are attacking them, but not for the reason that you believe. I believe it's because they feel personally attacked by his message.
True.
Like that takes like what you're saying is that means the person has to be looking far into the future and be thinking about a lot more stuff than like, oh, how was my status in society? Maybe there are a few people that think like that, but I feel like majority of the people they just feel called out and personally attacked by his statements that they're going after him.
Well, it's the fact that I'm gonna read this right now. I think all the attention, negative or not, is only going to serve to spread his message more. I agree 1,000,000,000%. The fact that NBC reported his death, NBC, a very major media company in the United States, at least. That's huge. And now that a lot more people are probably going to be knowing his name, a lot more people are going to be tuning in his YouTube channel. A lot more men are going to be like, holy crap, this guy's base. And a lot of women, especially black women, be like, oh, fuck this guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It is something. See, I always say for the last few months, you cannot stop the philosophy of Red Pill and MGTOW and all that stuff. You can't. It's just going to keep spreading. You can't. Especially all the hate that, Kevin Samuels got, Vincent MGTOW got, and all these other channels, these men that are not around anymore. and all the hatred, all the videos that they try to smear that guy's name, you're only gonna spread their ideals even more.
I don't feel like they're already done with trying to destroy their legacies. Because if I was to destroy their legacies, the best action to do that is to act like you're one of their disciples or something like that, and twist it slowly over time.
But they did say in plenty of the tweets, at least with Kevin Samuels, about, oh, he's a misogynist, he hates women, oh, he's a piece of shit, he's this, he's that. And there was countless women on social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, trying to completely dog Kevin Samuels after his death. I'm like, you really think that's going to work? You really think that's a good idea? Because people thought that Kevin Samuels would not be announced on major news outlets. And guess what? Today, his own mother confirmed his death to NBC.
Yeah, and that's why I think there's. Oh, maybe it's not every one of them. Like Carry On's got a point.
Most of them.
No. Sorry, I'll be a little more quick. I don't think every one of them are bashing him with the future in mind. They are just viscerally reacting emotionally. But I've definitely noticed a pattern where every time there's a bunch of this kind of bashing, it seems to.
Greg, can I stop you? Vince, yeah, he's dead. He died of a heart attack yesterday. All right, go ahead, continue.
But every time, like, especially when the word misogynist is thrown around, it is meant to shame other people, men and women alike, from following the message to don't listen to this person, they're a misogynist. Doesn't matter that it will benefit you, doesn't matter that it will help you in the future. This message does not benefit me personally. Therefore, you should ignore it. Yeah.
I agree.
I'll just
what do you have to say about that, Carry On?
Could it be that they don't believe it'll benefit the person that they're telling? Like, let's say this. If I said this person is a crackhead, they could be telling the truth, but because I believe they're a crackhead and I hear what they're saying, I feel like it won't work for me. Me saying that they're a crackhead is to deter people from following them because I believe what they're saying is bullshit.
Anything to say about that, or what's up?
Sorry, I was posting the link to the Samuel's death in the chat.
Oh, I was about to say. Like, oh, this is the first time Gray went completely quiet.
Sorry, Karen, can you that real quick? I didn't quite get it.
Well, it could be some people. Could it be that they don't think that it's beneficial to anyone to hear the news that he's spewing, that he was saying? Just like me saying, don't listen to this crackhead because I had listened to what they said and it didn't work for me or it wouldn't benefit me. So it's like, oh, it didn't work for me or it didn't benefit me, so I'm not going to listen to them. He's a crackhead or he's crazy or some other word because I don't believe it will benefit me. So I'm telling other people because I'm thinking for myself and not for them.
Well, first of all, you're a guy, not a woman. And second, if you really didn't like what someone was saying and you believed it to be wrong, you'd attack the argument. You wouldn't just slander the person.
Yep, that's what women do.
They know he's right. They wouldn't be mad if he was wrong.
I agree.
Yeah, I can't say yes completely.
We don't rage against flat earthers like day in, day out because they're fucking delusional and all the science is there. It's like, no. We get it. We know. And we have other things to talk about. They know he's right. they're upset that he's right. You can see in interview after interview the moment when these women realize that he's right and they're trying to
Oh, no,
justify
no.
their emotions.
I agree with that. I'm just saying that do they not completely understand? Like, they're not doing it out of malicious when they tell people not to listen to them. They're just doing it out of a self-preservation action.
I see what you're saying.
But that's the thing. But the self-preservation, like these women are competing for the attention and resources of men. Self-preservation means getting men to prioritize them over other women. The best way to do that is to destroy other women. Like, why are so many non-virgin women shaming virgin women for being virgins? It's not self-preservation. It's to sabotage the other women. Why do all these single women see their female friend who is married and fill her head full of bullshit to sabotage the relationship? It's not to benefit them. It's to destroy the other woman to benefit them in the long run. It's a repeated pattern of behavior, and I just see this as another example of it.
Crabs in a bucket. If I'm miserable, I'm gonna make sure you're miserable with me.
I can't disagree that people do that, but I'm just saying the possibility that those people that say that is because they actually believe that is right. That's going to be a possibility in any case. I'm not sure how much of it.
Yeah, it's a fluctuating percentage. Could be anywhere from like 10% to 50% to 70%. I don't know. I just see this motivation beyond just emotional lashing out. Can't say how much of it is one or the other because they look identical.
I am going to ask somebody else. Vestno.
Hello.
What is going on, man?
I'm doing fine. I didn't know that Cameron Samuels died till literally the stream.
I was shocked. I was in an interview with another channel yesterday, and then people were spamming, like, "Oh, Kevin Samuels passed away." I was like, "Are they trolling? Like, this is some bullshit. Like, what are you talking about?" And then the more I read on, I'm like, "Holy shit!" You know, because this is out of nowhere. Like, there was no physical signs. There was no ailments, nothing that Kevin Samuels said. He was just gone the next day. The fact that he live streamed that night, and then the next morning is when he started to die, because he said that, not he said, but the woman that was with him said that Kevin Samuel was complaining about chest pains that morning.
Yeah.
Then he became unresponsive.
It could just be like one of those freak, like bodily failures that happen sometimes.
You mean one of those freak bodily failures that's happened quite a bit over the past 2 years for reasons we can't get into.
We're not gonna go that far. Think about Yeetus.
Yeah. Like otherwise healthy people have heart attacks all the time, as of 2 years ago.
But he did drink a shit ton of Red Bull. I mean, a lot of Red Bull.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'd probably do
he
it
did.
too, because that would do it.
That
Because
could be
that's off. Well, that is definitely bad. There's many documented cases of that shit fucking killing people, especially if you mix it with alcohol. So if he was like,
hey,
now like having fucking Jaeger bombs.
Don't call me out. Anyway,
This is going to be a real skeleton soon.
I did in the military where, you know, the energy drink is a lifeline, right? Because we work very long hours. We get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and we keep working until 5 to 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, but you're also half his age, and you were even younger back then.
True, but there are people
that your body.
There are young people that still die from the caffeine consumption.
Yeah, but those are 3 fat fucks.
No, it could also be.
No. I'm talking about even healthy.
Well, relatively.
Yeah, what do you class healthy? Just because
I'm just saying, I've seen people not people. I saw one person that did pass away because of his caffeine consumption, and he was doing his physical fitness test.
Yeah, you can
He
absolutely.
he just dropped and died. That's it.
You can absolutely OD on caffeine. Like for at basically any age, it really just depends how much you have and under what circumstances.
Well, with people that were freaking out about, physical fitness tests, I'm not surprised that they try to do some type of hack to like help them pass this physical fitness test, and they go overboard.
Yeah, I would do that.
I mean,
Especially
OD,
if like really weak in like gym class.
Yeah,
or something.
I literally seen somebody pass away, like in front of me. That was some insane shit.
that's like you need to fucking do good elementary gym class, so you get some fucking
elementary gym.
you get some fucking pre-workout creatine and some Red Bull.
Well, I was about to
that
mention
7-year-old
that.
with like 200 pounds, he's to lift himself up somehow on that pull-up bar.
But hey, I was about to mention that because the guy that passed away, he took 3 scoops of pre-workout before we did the test.
Yeah,
we didn't know that. Yeah, 3. He wasn't even that big either. And then he just went to sudden cardiac arrest, and he just dropped dead.
Even fucking
that is some
do 3.
that is some scary shit to see in person. Scary shit. Once again, I saw it personally. I saw him die.
Yeah, I guess health is like cars. You can have a great body but a shit engine.
Oh, definitely. Oh my god, definitely.
Hey,
I hate these people.
Take a fucking Ferrari and put nitroglycerin in the engine, and yeah, it'll ignite, but run after.
Well, I hate people talking about, oh, look at me, look at this, look at my guns, look at it. See, if you know a bodybuilder called Rich Piana, he was swole. He got that muscle. Yeah, he was, but his insides were completely destroyed. What's up?
I've seen like a couple of photos, like professional bodybuilders, like before and after, like a decade or something, and they look terrible.
Yeah, no, bodybuilding is like burning the candle at both ends. You will,
but it wasn't just you eating like rice, chicken, and broccoli, blah blah. Rich Piana ate wherever the hell he wanted, and especially a bunch of Ben and Jerry's ice cream. And when they did the autopsy, his heart was messed up, his kidneys was messed up, his liver was messed up, everything was messed up.
Yeah, you gotta watch what you consume nowadays.
Oh god, especially nowadays, because I mean, honestly, sometimes I'll get a fucking like sausage sandwich, and I'm like, I am not entirely sure whether or not this is that fucking plant-based bullshit, and I hate that I won't fucking know and don't even know if there's a difference in taste.
Well, I mean, raise chickens.
Well, besides alcohol, I don't really consume sugar and none of that stuff. Like I literally eat the basics, in my opinion. Of course, I'm gonna try to make it taste good, but for the most part, I see food as fuel. I don't really see it as something that I'm gonna have a lot of pleasure and enjoy. Like no. Like I mainly see food as, okay, let me see. I gotta eat this many calories. Too easy. I'm gonna try to make it taste good, but I'm not all like, oh, I'm having an orgasm eating this food.
You know, like that one guy who like professionally eats food on YouTube. Oh, what's his name?
Oh god, that dude.
Which
The one
guy?
who, like,
Wait,
it's
Matt
so
Stoney,
funny. He has, like,
Chestnut, who?
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but I always see him like with like bags upon bags of fast food. He's just eating.
Oh,
it. I'm like,
Nikocado!
Oh,
yeah, there we go.
No, I was about to say Matthew Stoney as well, because he does the same thing pretty much.
Yeah, I was like, which one? There's too many of them.
Let's see, it's a
I
fucking
know.
subgenre of YouTube.
It's so bad.
God damn.
You can pull up like a screenshot. We're like with KFC with like 5 different boxes of chicken, like 8 fries, and then like 2 large drinks. I'm like, you are going to have the worst 60-year-old period of your life. Like you're dead. I'm like, oh my.
Dude's gonna fucking take a shit one day, and his stomach's gonna be in the toilet.
Oh my god. Just imagine being him. Like he has to do that for his job.
Well, he doesn't have to.
No, and
Well,
what's
he doesn't have to, quote unquote, but like
no, and what's fucking hilarious beyond that is he's
Oh my.
still fucking skinnier than some of these fucking women out there who don't get paid for this shit.
Yeah, have you seen his old pictures before he was fat?
don't talk about this German
Yeah,
Shepherd like that.
he was skinny as hell, but he was definitely a lot healthier than what he looks like now.
Yeah.
But great, like you said before, once you make YouTube your job, you're pretty much their bitch.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what happened to Nick.
I'm pretty sure if you ask Nick, like, would you rather work at McDonald's or eat McDonald's as a job? I'm pretty sure we all know what he'll pick.
Oh, most people pick the same shit as him.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I would have a hard time eating that much. I think if I ate as much as that guy did in one sitting, like, it'd come back up. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like between camera cuts he fucking goes and purges shit.
He doesn't even eat all of his food like that anymore. He takes like a few big bites. After that, all that food, I'm assuming, goes to the fridge, or he throws it away. Because you notice he never finishes food like that these days.
Yeah.
Well, if it was British size, like it was the standard size for everyone not in America, he wouldn't be as fat as he is now. I'm just saying.
I don't know. Your English breakfast is pretty big.
Well, yeah, but they're not as big as you. Like, everything in America is supersized.
Yeah, it is.
How dare you?
I've been to the UK.
How dare
and
you?
then McDonald's and then American McDonald's. It's like the drink's like, this is a large. It's like a medium-sized drink, and I'm like,
Hey,
God, we're fat.
hey, at least we have Universal Studios. Okay, that's all that matters.
Yeah, Universal Studio full of fat people, man.
Scooter
Okay.
wenches
Hey,
out here running the streets.
how can they even fit on the rides?
I don't
Fat people
know.
not allowed.
I don't know how can you fit on the rides, Yeetus? I'm not sure. Skeletons aren't on the rides. That's illegal.
I remember.
How is that
you see-
illegal, motherfucker?
I remember being on
Hey,
the
skeletons
line.
are allowed on rides. They just need to wear meat suits.
Like Nancy Pelosi.
Skeletons is illegal. It's illegal right now. No, it ain't. Fuck off.
It's corpse abuse.
And the corpse. Okay, now you're just making shit up. Okay, I'm
most was.
The
I'm adding one
skelephobic
more
standards.
person.
Hey, I'm pretty sure that I could take a fucking anatomical
Hey.
skeleton from any bio lab and take it on a ride so long as I paid for its seat and strapped it in.
Single Town Bachelor. What's going on, man?
Hey man, it's you know the guy was right on what he said to the women, and they didn't like it. So that the women should take accountability of what they said and what they are. But we all know that they don't take accountability. You can see the Amber Heard case, and no accountability whatsoever. So that's a crap show.
I'm gonna stop you right quick. Nancy was Yeetus' prom date. Don't ever disrespect me like that again.
Oh, okay.
Don't ever disrespect me like that again, bro.
Back in 1863.
So, how do you feel about, or what do you think about Kevin Samuel's death and how people are saying the most craziest stuff on social media about him? evil stuff.
We all know that the vast majority of women would say such a thing when he passed away. So it doesn't surprise me at all. But but then again, he wanted to improve Black women and women in general, to be more successful in life, and especially in relationships. But they didn't get it. The vast majority didn't get it. So it's like he was yelling at death ears. Yeah.
Okay, I definitely see what you're talking about, man. In the end, when it comes to Kevin Samuels, they didn't handle the truth. They couldn't handle the truth at all.
I started out at listening to him, his podcast and stuff, and eventually the Warband came to light, and Sandman, the works, Hammerhand, and Yeet. So yep. Peace. Yeah, that no, it's it takes time to when you consume someone's YouTube content. It took some time, even for me, to appreciate it, and eventually make my own channel, and giving a middle-aged Danish old ass viewpoint on things. So yeah, that's about it.
All right, too easy. We're gonna start. Calm me down right now, immediately, because I have to go somewhere. Vento, what do you have to say to the Warband?
Keep doing what you're doing. This is like the only group of guys I've seen with actual standards. So
Yep.
keep it up.
Why, thank you. All right, man. Peace out, Puniti.
Puniti, the sacred word.
The sacred word.
Yeah. Puniti. It's better than sin. You know what?
All right.
Word.
Single time bachelor, you next. What do you have to say to the Warband?
Well, don't ever forget the sacred word, Puniti.
Puniti.
No. Well, it came as a surprise that he passed away, but then again, who has the shot? You know what? That's that could be a certain things. We had a soccer player who went down on the pitch and had actually a cardiac arrest, and that was on national TV. So that's not even a year ago. Yeah, it is. How should we say it so that Susan and her minions doesn't strike it down? It's times that like this that we have to walk. Yeah, I lost it.
You good?
Yeah. It's
right,
it's in January 21, I got a blood clot in my brain. It's located in a nasty place, but it was before the whole country got vaxxed. So yeah.
Well, as long as you don't give up, right?
Yep, I'm still around. So that's the best part of it.
All right, man. Hey, thank you for joining, man.
Hey, anytime. But you guys are normally you are a bit late for me to join up. But if I get a timeline like this, yeah,
I
it's good.
usually do a few hours later,
Yeah,
but today was a special day, so.
yeah, I know.
But I'll talk to you later, man. And Puniti.
Already.
UT.
All right, carry on your next. What's up?
What is up? The whole situation. It's surprising. You don't really expect people to like drop that quick, just in general, especially if they look generally healthy. So, like, that's just one aspect we can take away from this whole story and situation. Like, we have to keep our health in check. We have to actually like know what we're putting into our body and what effects it has on us. Because
I agree.
but on the other hand, it's like people that don't have any respect for themselves won't have respect for others. So it's not surprising. People that won't take care of themselves won't take good care of other people. And that's just how the way the world has always been. And even if you go to help these people, they're going to be upset at you because you are the only aspect in their life that is, how I say, negative in their eyes. You are the only aspect that is telling them there's something wrong with them, or there's something wrong with this perfect world that they have right now, and they're going to hate you for that. We've seen that throughout history. Like even if you're Christian, like that's what technically Jesus went through. He's like, you guys are fucking up. You guys have technically defiled the name of your God, so to say, and they got upset because they were shown a mirror of what they were, and they knew what they were supposed to be, but they were so far away from that. The easier option was just to get rid of the person that was showing them who they were and what they were supposed to be.
All right, carry on. Thank you very much for sharing, and
Yeah.
definitely join the next live stream I'm gonna have.
Yeah, Puniti.
Puniti.
Puniti, yay!
Jesus Christ, what? All right, Gray. It's all on you. I'll be back in a bit, but give us your thoughts on this entire situation.
All right. Well, 2 bits for closing thoughts. Number one, this should serve as a reminder, gentlemen, that, and the 1 or 2 ladies that may be here, gentlemen, you need to hold yourselves to a high standard. And you need to make sure that those who you spend your precious time and energy on are worthwhile. Because if they are not, and they know they are not, they will not thank you for it. They will hate you for it. They will disrespect you for it because you have made yourselves beneath someone who is beneath you. Second thing, that this is the second prominent manosphere content creator to have well, in this case, it was death, but after Coach Red Pill and the suspected death of him, this is laying some groundwork for the manosphere to be removed from YouTube. Word I'm hearing through the grapevine is that it might be mid-August that they really crack down. So make your alt platform accounts and maybe even look into some sort of email alternative from YouTube, because we may only have a couple extra months on this platform before the authorities start cracking down.
Okay, Gray, I see what you're saying. You're definitely not wrong on that one. Definitely going on Odyssey, BitChute, MGTOW TV, any other platform. Yes, definitely make as much as possible.
If you
But-
have a favorite Manosphere creator now that is no longer posting and can't move their content, it'd be worthwhile to download it. There's plenty of free websites that will allow you to download videos from YouTube, given the link. It's probably worthwhile to back some of that up because it'd be very easy for them to make that stuff disappear.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Gray, for sharing. And I'll definitely talk to you in a bit, man.
All right, talk to you later, Yeetus. Puniti.
Puniti. All right, it's just me, the one, the only, Sir Yeetus, and I definitely have something to say about this situation. Let's keep it real, gentlemen, and the two ladies that are, watching. Life is short. Life is fleeting. You definitely have no idea if tomorrow is your last day. But doesn't mean that you'll live your life in fear, trying to figure out when is your end. Live your life to the fullest. And on top of that, because of the last few creators that passed away, Venture MGTOW, I think it was David, I forgot what his name was, David something, and now Kevin Samuels, this gives me more motivation than ever to continue to make content. Because who knows if it's going to be my time, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. Who knows? That's why I know that I'm not anybody too important. I'm not anybody special. I am just one of many. One of many just trying to spread the word of how society messed up for the last 70, 80 years. And I'm just trying to pass on the information to the next generation with the technology that we have today called social media, and being able to hopefully have them learn from our mistakes. Because we messed up here. Hopefully down the road, you guys be able to correct all this madness. Because I know in the history books, they're going to be seeing, oh my God, the 2020s were insane. They were talking about he, she, they, them, it's whatever the fuck it's called. Nobody wants to take accountability. People cutting limbs off and stuff just because they feel uncomfortable or insecure, blah, blah, blah. That is the unfortunate consequences of having a comfortable first world society. That is the complete consequences. It gets to the point where people are just going to be seeking out drama, seeking out situations, manifesting drama that shouldn't even be there in the first place. And now look how society is today. Look how the world is laughing at the West today. Because we got to the point where we got men literally pretending to have periods, women pretending to have schlongs, no nuclear family anymore. The teachers are having heavy influences on our children, to the point where it is borderline creepy as hell. To the point where cops should have been involved. This is the Twilight Zone, gentlemen and ladies. All I'm saying is definitely be on the right side of history, because right now it is not looking good, and we kind of expected that, right? But we didn't expect it to go at a fast pace like this. The fact that a black man such as Kevin Samuels, even though I don't agree with majority of what he said with his philosophies, the fact that he went out there on his own limb, money or not, try to save the black community, which a good amount of his information about the black community is not wrong at all whatsoever. It is 100% true. Black women today are willing to demonize a man that's trying to help the black community out, help black women out to not die alone. But they're willing to celebrate a man that shot down a brother, a son, a sister, a mom, an aunt. They're willing to celebrate that type of guy than a man that's actually trying to improve the black community for the better. Think on that, gentlemen. Think on that. Once again, I have nothing personally against Kevin Samuels. There's a lot of things that we disagree with, but I have no hate towards that guy. He's gone, and there is no reason for me or anybody else to try to dog on a man, to try to make fun of a man, to try to degrade a man that's not here anymore to defend himself. This is Sir Yeetus. Hope you guys had a daily dose of my gems that I just dropped today. And no matter what, gentlemen, no matter what the couple ladies are watching, the grind does not stop. We're going to keep going until the end. Because it ain't over until it's over. We don't give up that easily. I am out. Peace.